in this video, I'm gonna share with you the exact step-by-step blueprint on building a perfect investment portfolio for this year. To do that, we're also gonna go over all of the benefits on having a diversified portfolio. We're gonna talk about why this is so important, especially now, and we're also gonna go over this compiled formula on the percentage split that your average person should be striving for. So what is an investment portfolio? Well, investment portfolio by definition is pretty much just a basket of different types of investments that are designed to work together to help you ultimately make more money. Within a typical investment portfolio, you can see assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate, crypto commodities, and even alternative investments like art and watches. Now, simply put, right off the bat, the goal to have a perfect investment portfolio is to just diversify your investments to reduce risk across the different market cycles that will come and to increase your overall returns. So take as an example, Billy, bought $100,000 worth of AMC. If he had lost all that money and that's the only money he ever had to his name, well, we got a bit of an issue there. Now, say Billy had actually invested $100,000 into AMC, but it turns out he has a well-diversified portfolio with a net worth of over $10 million. Normally, that $100,000 he lost, where once it would be a big deal, ends up not being so much. That amount still is gonna suck regardless, but it's just gonna suck less. By holding a different mix of assets, you will be able to benefit from the growth of some other markets while others go down. Now, before I share with you what I think the best investment split right now currently is, there's a few important things that you need to do first as an investor. This here is what I would call the reflection stage. And first, you need to understand what your risk tolerance is, what your investment goals are, and how long your investment horizon is. It's also really important to regularly review and adjust your portfolio as time goes on, just because things end up changing. Are you able to put 5 to 10 hours a week into the research of your investment portfolio, or are you looking for something that requires less maintenance and less time invested? Another big question to ask yourself is whether or not you will need the money and if you can keep it in the markets for 2 to 3 years. The reason why I think that question right there is the most important is because it allows you to keep a long-term perspective on what you're going to do with your money. And sometimes, if a recession or a bear market lasts usually in cycles more than 2 to 3 years, you have the tolerance to let it chill in there and to let it be good. What's up, buddy?
What the dog doing?
All right, so ladies and gents, here comes the fun part, and Aster wants to be here for the fun part too. Basically, this is the section where we're gonna go over 3 of the major different investment portfolio strategies, starting with number 1, which is an income portfolio, which normally consists of primarily investing into dividend-paying stocks and coupon-yielding bonds. This here is gonna be meant for anyone who is more comfortable with minimal risk, and if you have a short to mid-range investment time horizon. On the other hand, you have a balanced portfolio which invests in both stocks and bonds to reduce your potential volatility. And if you're seeking more of a balanced portfolio and you're comfortable tolerating short-term price fluctuations and you're okay with not having the highest amount of growth, but a little bit of a mid-level growth, this one would be meant for you. And then last but not least, we also have a growth portfolio which consists mostly of stocks that are expected to appreciate, but it's going to be a bit more on that risky side. This is meant for someone who has high risk tolerance, a long-term investment time horizon, and generating current income right now today isn't their primary goal. For the ultimate perfect investment portfolio, believe it or not, I don't think it's just choosing one of these, sticking with it, but I think it's actually using a combination of all 3 to create my own hybrid ETF bond growth, little accumulating monster behemoth. Yeah, we're currently going through a very unstable economy with lots of uncertainty headed about the future on what's going to take place with the US. Are banks going to continue to collapse? Is it going to get any worse? Are people going to start going homeless? Are cars going to continue to get repoed? Is the US dollar going to lose all of its value? Well, right now we're clearly going through a recession, and even some believe that a depression is right around the corner. By having a hybrid approach, I believe I can take the best parts of other investment portfolio strategies, and it allows me to continue weathering this recession and to maximize my ability to make as much money as I can. Now, keep in mind, some specific investments that I'm going to mention in this portfolio are actually designed to outperform recessions. At the end of the day, bear markets are huge opportunities, and these are cycles that are still due to come. Now, for me personally, I'm actually hoping that the bear market even extends and that we do get a further crash, because the way that I've been investing, I've capitalized on all the profits that have been made. I'm holding on to some additional cash, and if that crash happens, I know that I'm going to be able to see some more upside upside, and I want to make sure that you guys are all going to be benefiting too. Now, just a few more points to mention. You're going to notice within my perfect investment portfolio that I have no section in there for cash. And this is because for anyone who's deciding to invest at all within these markets, I will assume that you have at least a minimum of 6 months worth of expenses in cash saved up in another separate account. The next point I wanted to make is just the fact that this here is my version of a perfect investment portfolio. Now, obviously, guys, I do not have no, financial wealth advisor degree behind me or, 10 plaques of school debt. I got a pair of shoes up there and I got a few books. I got a dog. Use what I mentioned in this video as a gateway to start your own portfolio, but don't consider this as die-hard financial advice that you need to follow to the T. Everyone has their own individual profile. Everyone needs to do their own research and stick to their own type of investment strategy because we all got different goals and we're all in different unique situations. So 30% of this pie chart is going to be in ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. And the reason I have this here is because this is just an overall great way to achieve broad market exposure and even more diversification. In a recessionary environment, it's a lot more wise to allocate a higher percentage of your portfolio to defensive sectors. What are those? So these are going to be utilities, consumer staples, and healthcare, which tend to perform relatively well during economic downturns. If you're trying to get wide market, broad diversification, instead of just, buying up 20 or 50 or 100 different stocks, you can buy one ETF, which is a basket of a whole bunch of other stocks where you could be investing into the top 100 companies that they've gone ahead and approved. Following that up, I would say about 20% of your income should be between bonds and what I would call income stocks that give you a dividend, which can provide a steady stream of income and also act as a hedge against any equity market volatility. So normally when you buy a bond, you're essentially just lending your money to an organization such as a corporation or, in most cases, the government. They need to borrow your money, and in exchange for the loan, they're going to promise to pay you back the full amount of the loan plus interest over a specified period of time. It's pretty much like getting credit. Y'all know the concept of getting credit cards. If I borrow money from the bank and I don't pay it off in time, I have to pay interest on that amount. With the government, if you get a bond taken out and you try to earn interest on your money, they have to pay you interest on that amount regardless. I also mentioned income stock. This is very simple. This is pretty much any stock that is known for paying consistent dividends out to its shareholders. If you guys haven't watched my full guide on dividend investing, make sure you guys do that. I spent a lot of time within that video. It's a full PowerPoint presentation and it's a lot to learn if you've never heard about the concept of dividend investing. Now, the next 20% of your stocks should go towards growth stocks, which are stocks of companies that are expected to grow faster than what the market average is doing. Now, growth stocks are going to be a bit more volatile than the alternatives that we just mentioned, but they can also prove to have some higher potential returns. Now, in a recession, growth stocks generally underperform as investors become a bit more risk adverse. So that's why I'm only keeping this percentage at 20%. But if you have a long-term horizon, usually this is going to prove to be one of your best performing assets. In a bull market, when the economy is booming, growth stocks tend to go up 40 to 50% or even more. Now, the other 20% of portfolios are going to be your blue chip stocks, which are stocks of large, well-established companies with a proven track record of stability and reliable dividends. These are going to be like the mega, ultra huge companies that you know about, Facebook, Amazon, Google. Chances are, if you've heard of a company, you use it day to day, it's most likely a blue chip stock. What normally happens in a recession is that investors tend to actually flock towards blue chip stocks because they see that these larger market caps are a bit of a safe haven, where some of the smaller companies from income stocks may pay you dividends, and then we have growth stocks that are a bit more volatile. Blue chip stocks may be seen as just a bit more conservative, a bit more on that safer side. Now, the remaining 10% of this pie is going to go towards cryptocurrency. I certainly still believe that long-term crypto is going to be one of the best investments that you can make even through this recession. Now, I know a lot of people aren't feeling that way, and there's a reason why I made it only 10% of my portfolio, and that's because even during a recession, and right now with what we're going through, crypto is still seen as a highly volatile asset class. This ultimate perfect portfolio is meant for your average everyday Joe, but as you guys know, my current portfolio looks a little bit different from what I'm saying here, and I actually have a lot more of my money within crypto, NFTs, and other projects. But for the purpose of this video, if I were to start over all once again, and I'm talking to, Brian Jung from 2020, I'm like, okay, if I were to do it all over once again, I would probably, bring crypto a little bit higher within my own list, but at the same time, keeping it conservative like this is still not terrible. Now, ladies and gents, if you want to get a better idea of my entire investment portfolio, get notifications on my buy and sell alerts, what I'm doing within the market, my predictions of what I think is going to happen next, be sure to check out the link down below in the description to join the Patreon. There we have our amazing Discord community. In addition to that, we also have a ton of different educational resources to get you through this bear market. I also went ahead and dropped the price 75+% of it. So literally, if you guys are willing to pay a subscription for Netflix, which is giving you negative ROI, you can get positive ROI by checking out that link down below. One more thing real quick, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor for today's video, and that's going to be Moomoo. So investors normally pay close attention to earnings seasons and reports released by listed companies. The one issue though is for a lot of beginners, these reports can be pretty difficult to comprehend. This is where Moomoo comes in. This user-friendly app simplifies the process of understanding earning reports. By simply clicking the market button on the Moomoo app, you'll gain access to the earning hub where you can find a one-sentence summary of listed companies' earning results. If you're interested in a particular company, you can explore more detail about their earning report, including visualized key data. But that's not all. Moomoo also boasts a large community of users where you can communicate and learn from others' opinions. If you want to check them out, use the link down below in the description, and also you can get up to 20 free stocks for this month of May. Open an account and you'll get 1 free stock. Deposit $100 and you'll get 9 additional draws for a free stock, and deposit $1,000 and you'll get 10 additional draws for that free stock too. So check it out, link down below in the description. All right, so ladies and gents, going into the investment portfolio sample, I've gone ahead and included just a full, complete look at this. Now, the first ETF in our list is going to be the one that tracks the S&P 500, like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, also known as VOO. We also have the SPY index, or we also have ticker symbol IVV. Out of all of these three, VOO has the lowest expense ratio, which is the fees charged annually. So that will be our choice for this video. Now, the second ETF in our list will be the one that invests in consumer staples, like the Vanguard Consumer Staples ETF, which is ticker symbol VDC, or the Consumer Staples Selector SPDR Fund, which is also known as ticker symbol XLP. Now, consumer staples, like I mentioned earlier, are things that people tend to buy regardless of how the economy is doing. So now these companies tend to be less affected by the whole recession because these products are still considered to be essential and there'll always be demand for them. For this video, we're going to be using ticker symbol VDC because they also have a slightly lower expense ratio and they've also performed better over the past year. Now, for the other part of our bulletproof portfolio, we also have income stocks, and for this, I'm going to be choosing Home Depot. Now, the reason I chose Home Depot is because this is a mature and established company that has a history of paying dividends to its shareholders consistently. The company currently has a dividend yield of around 2.1% as of April 2023, which is above the average dividend yield of the S&P 500. And Home Depot is also known to be recession-proof because they are within that defensive industry and they are more likely to advertise and market to consumers. And they're also a financially strong company with a solid balance sheet and strong cash flows and a history of profitability. Now, the next investment in our list is probably going to be considered to be, just the safest out of them all. And this is going to be the US Treasury bonds. So US Treasury bonds are considered to be one of the safest investments to make during a recession because they're fully backed by the US government. The downside is that these offer lower yields than other types of bonds, but if you're trying to play a bit more conservative, these are a safe bet and you'll get some more peace of mind. Peace of mind is always priceless. Now, Treasury bonds pay a fixed rate of interest, which means you get a steady source of income throughout the recession. To meet our bond investment quota, we're also going to be buying an ETF called iShares, which is the 7 to 10 year Treasury bond ETF, also stands for IEF. Now, this ETF has a relatively low expense ratio and can provide a good balance between risk and return for beginner investors looking to invest in Treasury bonds. Next, we got the growth stocks that we talked about. This is 20% of the pie, and for this, we have Amazon and we also have Adobe. Now, Adobe is a leading provider of creative software products. I mean, they've been coming out, doing a lot of stuff within the whole AI world. This is just one of many stocks that you can choose. I chose Adobe just for this example, but there's also another popular growth stock, Amazon. Might not have the highest upside, but they're going to be more relatively safe. Next, we have our blue chip stocks, and for this, we have JP Morgan Chase and also Johnson & Johnson. Now, JP Morgan Chase is one of the leading global financial services. They have a huge market cap, so don't expect the biggest upside, but they also pay out dividends. And also in a time right now where all these regional banks are failing, it looks like JP Morgan might be doing a lot better if they end up monopolizing the entire state of all these banks going down. Now, JP Morgan is also considered to be a safe haven for a lot of US depositors just because of how much cash they have on their balance sheet and the smart financial decisions that they've been making over the past few years. Johnson & Johnson is another diversified healthcare company. They operate in 3 main business segments. You have pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and also consumer health products. The way I see it, if you're using Band-Aids, Listerine, Tylenol, anything like that, or, if the day ever comes where a baby stops taking a dookity-dook, maybe I'll consider selling some Johnson & Johnson there. But I think for now, throughout the recession, this is still a relatively safe company over the long term. Now, going into crypto, 10% of our portfolio, if I were to split that up, it would be between Bitcoin and Ethereum. For this pie, I have about 7.5% in Bitcoin, 2.5% in Ethereum, which is the most conservative play I think that you can make. But if you're trying to capitalize on making a bit more gains, I think Ethereum is still one of the best cryptos to hold, and that's because you can stake it and still earn about 4 to 5% back, all while doing nothing at all. Now, ladies and gents, that is going to be my bulletproof portfolio. If you guys want to take a look at this, I will have a link down below in the description for the Notion. I'll share it publicly so you guys can play around with it. You can mess around, talk to it, do whatever you guys want to it. But you can also duplicate this, put in your own type of information to see what your bulletproof portfolio would look like. If you guys agreed with my portfolio, let me know down below. If you guys happen to disagree, let me know too. Like always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and check out the links down below in the description for Moomoo. And also be sure to check out our Patreon group as well. Thank you all so much again for watching this video. Have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.